This morning, we are remembering the life of Matt Dennison. He died back on March the 10th as a result of injuries that he sustained after the car that he and his best friend and teammate were in. They were hit by an alleged drunk driver.
I had a chance to sit down with Matt's father, Mark, an incredibly strong man who is so proud of everything his son accomplished both on and off the ice in his 17 years on this earth. For those of us that didn't know Matt, give us a few words to describe your son.
Funny, tenacious, loud. He could be the life of the party.
Fathers and sons find many ways to bond. Hockey seemed to be your bond. Tell us how that started.
It started when Matt was 3. We just took him to a public skating session. And we strapped some skates on him, and I carried him between my legs. When he was 4 years old, he started to learn to play hockey. And then from there, it just took off.
He was just recently named first team All-Division, so he didn't just play hockey, he played it well.
He played well. Matt was actually leading the state in scoring when the accident happened. I am positive Matt would have held that lead through the end of the year.
This might be hard.
Okay.
Take me back to that night. It's the phone call no parent ever wants to get.
Correct. So Matt and Kevin were returning from a prospect day for a junior organization in Norwich, Connecticut. About 2 minutes till 9, I asked Katie to call Matt and see where he was. Katie was sitting next to me and she placed the call, and I heard her say, "Hey, where are you?" And then she said, "What?" Then she said, "What again?" And she said, "Dad, I lost him." With today's technology, we could see his location on Katie's phone, and we saw that he was on Route 165 in Exeter. At 9:18 p.m., I got a call from my wife, Brenda. She was hysterical, crying. Said Matt was in a bad accident. That's where our nightmare began. 27 days. We lost track at a dozen surgeries. We think it was 15 or 16 that he had in his 27 days. 4 days prior to when he passed, we knew. We wouldn't say it to each other, but we knew that that was most likely the time where his body just decided it could not come back. They came to us on that Tuesday and told us clearly that it was time to consider letting Matt go, which was extremely difficult. Every night, instead of a hug and a kiss goodnight and an I love you, Matt started as he would come up to me and shake my hand and say, "Good night, sir." And that was our thing. And right before I left that room, that night he passed, I took his hand, I kissed him on the forehead, and my last words to him were, "Good night, sir."
Spent a lot of time in this rink with Matthew. It must be hard being back here.
It is hard.
What kind of emotions go through your mind when you see, what do you think of? A lot of good memories.
A lot of great memories. He had a lot of highlight moments out on that ice, and it does bring back so many great memories.
I know this is going to be difficult for you, right? First time you've been in.
It may be difficult, yeah.
When's the last time you were in here?
I was in here on senior night with the whole team.
As you look over here, you can see Matthew's locker.
Means a lot to see that gear.
What does it mean to you to see his name up there, and captain?
He worked his whole short life to get that title, and it meant the world to him, and it meant the world to me. I can't think of a better thing to do than to leave it here for Matt and for his team.
The family sent me this picture a few days ago. There's Mark along with Matt's mom, Brenda. Sister Katie, West Warwick, Exeter West Greenwich hockey team, put plexiglass over Matt's locker at the West Warwick ice rink. That stall with Matt's equipment in it. Will stay that way forever. Nobody will wear number 16 ever again, and that locker will remain just the way Matt left it after the last time he skated with his team.
You know, Patrick, the family just laid their son to rest a few weeks ago, so their grief still incredibly raw and real right now. A lot of times, though, you see families with a loss like this channel that grief into some kind of activism. What have they told you about that?
Yeah, coming up tonight at 6 o'clock, Mark speaks more about the fact how his mission in life now and his family's mission is to help try and change some of the DUI laws in the state of Rhode Island that have been in place now for decades. So looking forward to sharing that part of the story tonight at 6.
All right, Patrick, thank you, and we'll be right back.